Hey everybody, it's your best friend Drew Racy, and I got some more comics for my spinner rack. Syphons, now comics. I got a whole bunch of like obscure books at Ides Comics and Collectibles in downtown Pittsburgh, and it's just amazing. It's been around since 1972, and the guys who run the place are just always really cool. That looks like a guy was trying to use a little bit of Kurt Russell there on that face. Anyway, I think this may be the very first Now comic book as in publishing. Welcome to Now Comics. It's my pleasure to tell you about the excellent comic books we will be bringing you every month, with 4 titles released through May, June. So I feel Now Comics has the best and strongest lineup in books and talent. Okay, so it tells you more, but let's get the second one. Story and art is by Alan Curtis, and I don't know how he didn't end up with Marvel or DC, because this stuff is professional. Colors Tony Caputo, who also worked at the company. Chris Ecker, I don't recall, but look at that. Look at that. Really inspired images. Boom, bloom, bloom. What the hell? Oh, hang on a second. To a few who know of their existence, they are known as the Syphons. Blam, blam, blam. She is called Rays, and with a wave of her hand, a wall of energy appears, stopping the hail of bullets. She holds that energy for a moment, and then she simply lets it go. So they're all blasting away at these criminals. And, I hope these guys are still alive, is what she says. Hey, here they come, about time, too. And it's the cleaners. Kind of like Pulp Fiction, except 8 years earlier. Good work, Tricia, as usual. Thank you. You may return home to your base. We'll see to it that these men are turned over to the proper authorities. And anyway, still haven't gotten used to them doing that. Well, they're gone. Let's finish it. So they're getting the guns out. I love the juxtaposition here where you'd think Mr. Cross would give us a break after that. No way, Tim. He says, we've got to practice every day, and if we don't have total control over our powers, we might accidentally kill someone. I don't know what I'd do if that ever happened. And you see the cleanup crew cleaning up the mess. That's great writing there. That's really good stuff. So there's some talking there. They were all 4 of them were orphans, and they escaped an orphanage. So really, I love that panel there. That's really clever. The storytelling is spot on. How about that? That's insane. This is in the 80s, everybody. No, not everybody had, stuff they could pull off the internet and fiddle around with Photoshop. So, just drawing. And the storytelling, what I like about it, totally clean. I mean, totally clear. Yeah, some good old-fashioned smackdown. That face in the middle there is really good. She says, it's these powers I'm scared. What? You must have been the most excited about using your powers. That's the problem. It's such a rush. I love it so much that I want to let it all out, but I know I can't. Sometimes, though, it's hard to turn it all in. It's hard. Like tonight. I love that face expression. Yeah, tonight. But don't let me kill anybody, Tricia, please. A lot of other good stuff going on. But I mean, you'd see this in a Marvel comic, at the very least a New Universe comic. That's pretty cool. I think they used that figure for a house ad. So it ends there. This is another book that came out around the same time. They're putting them out like one week after another. And the backup strip, Savant, it's really cool, but it's more like reading a novel with some still pictures in it. So I actually didn't read this because it just looks like a chore. So don't subscribe, don't bribe. What? I'll do my homework all this semester. I'll give you my lunch money for a month. Beat it, you bumbling inept fools. Don't be a reject. Subscribe to Now Comics. Now, you too can haunt your feeble-minded friends like I do. So, fun stuff. This is Valor Thunderstar and his Fireflies. I never read that, so I don't know what to say about it. Now, Man-Thing, first appearance of Wondar, the man-child from a doomed planet. I'm not a big Man-Thing fan, as you probably heard before, but I had to get this because the first appearance of Wondar. And, I mean, it's not going to be worth anything. I wanted to read it. Except the cover, he talks like an adult, and that never happens. Let's see why. With special thanks to inspiration to John Fogerty and Creedence Clearwater Revival, Steve Gerber. That was a big thing in the 70s, like little winks. So Val Mayrick is here, and Sal Trapani is inking, which is interesting because it takes Val Mayrick inks himself better than other inkers, and I don't, as an inker, I don't like to say that, but you know, in some cases it's 100% truth. Come on. So this big old spaceship lands, and then you get all this talk about Man-Thing. But what comes out is an adult. This auburn-haired youth with maddeningly innocent eyes has just been born. And it goes back to, it's a parallel with Superman. Like, this planet is going to be doomed, and he wants to escape with his wife. He tries to convince the UN, their equivalent of the UN, and so it's done. But Hector, where did he go? We have a galaxy of planets to choose from, Soja. Once in space, the ship's de-warp engines will take us everywhere we wish. No, what do you mean? The triumvirate nose of your spacecraft, traitor. We have come to seize it. Duckham's millions must never look upon it or hear your mad theories. And she gets taken out too. But she managed to put the baby in the rocket and send it. And this is such a great little twist. As a elderly couple seeing the machine, the ship fall. And did you see that, Pa? That thing in the air? Sure did, Ma. Came right out of the blue like one of them flying dishes. Saucers, Pa. I think landed it in the swamp. I know there might be some kind of something in that rocket. Maybe we ought to... Pa, you just stay right here. It could be Martians or communists. You could get yourself ray gunned to death. Yeah, I suppose I might. So there goes Mom and Pa. Can't, you know, any influence in that. So, what did it do? Okay, here we go. So he was raised inside this rocket, but he's childlike. He can't understand. He lifts his legs, and he ends up flying in the air. He's got a look of terror upon him, crashes down, and these guys are like, look, another long-haired guy trying to bust up our crane, and the bullets just bounce off. And just so many things throw him because he's a baby. And on knees and hands, he draws quite closer. He must touch something, whether it too will go bang or fall apart, like everything else he's touched so far. No, this is a good something, a friend. It wheels and plays, it makes a smile, it makes funny noises that amuse and splashes and kicks. But when it likes to be left, but also when it likes to be left alone, and when it's not, it strikes. Why? Must everything be so mean? He only wanted to play, but he can be mean too, and he can be angry. So, he kills himself a gator. There's just so much is going on with, and his leaping. Like, remember John Carter, the movie? Friggin' excellent movie. How they portrayed him, bouncing because the Earth's gravity was different. This is a similar thing, although decades prior. I think, in the original Edgar Rice Burroughs, they had that, the gravity situation. And he takes off. And the Swamp Thing is his usual cheerful, fun self. Let's go to Dr. Druid, who Roger Stern, he basically took a forgotten character, Dr. Droom, who came out in the first 5-6 issues of, one of those Atlas pre-hero comics. I think it's Amazing Fantasy. But what they did is they did reprints, Weird Wonder Tales. This is a 30-cent book, so it means it's late in 66. And this is a trip, a total trip, because it starts off with a new page. It says, "Welcome to the threshold of more weird wonder. I'm your host, Dr. Druid." Now, this is Gene Cole and art, but I think he inked it himself too, because he rarely inked himself. It didn't look like anybody I recognized. So check this out. They stick Dr. Druid in here. Ask anyone who the greatest artist is. The odds are 10 to 1. They'll say Joshua Carstairs. Masterpieces, all of them. So still a little tweaking here. But real nice stuff. Really great stuff. That cinematic quality that was already evident in his artwork. He took a lot of his own photographs. That is really enjoyable. That real no pale there. So it has an odd ending, but it's still nonetheless Gorgilla. Another Kirby monster. And then Beware of the Giants. Stanley and Steve Ditko. And there you go. So it's good. It's a lot of fun. Although Roger Stern would take the character, and in the last 2 issues, he really gave him a larger speaking role. And then he developed him into Dr. Druid, who ended up in Incredible Hulk, and then some other places. I think, Ghost Rider. And I just never liked him. I don't know why. I just never liked him. He struck me as interesting. Now, Martian Manhunter. Check out this art by Mark Badger. Woo-wee. This is the second issue of a 4-issue miniseries I picked up. And I like Batman right there. Now, here's the thing. The art is incredible, and I love J.M. DeMatteis. I can't talk today. But the story is kind of oblique. I can do oblique for a while, but if it's the whole issue, it's a bit of a put off when it comes to writing. What have you done to me? Manhunter got a remake. So it's just a lot of psychological torture for Martian Manhunter. Boy, it's pretty. And it sort of goes on and on and on and like that. But I like stuff I like James DeMatteis stuff as obscure as Brooklyn Dreams, which is this pocket novel that he did with I can't remember who, Glenn Barr, I think. But this just didn't do a thing for me. God, this ad is awful. I think this was originally done real small, and then he blew it up, so it just takes all the, you know, it just simplifies the art incredibly. So that's a nice shot. And there's Rocket Red. Man, that's a beautiful one there. She's a booty. And there's Mr. Miracle. And his thing. Whoop. Come on. Okay. Well, yeah, it just, to me, it kind of flounders. It's basically a whole issue of psychological warfare on Martian Manhunter. And here's one thing that it always struck me as weird. I mean, accepting this issue because it's not a punch-out story, but Martian Manhunter is just too damn powerful. He can turn invisible. He can stretch like, you know, Plastic Man. He has the strength of Superman. He can, what else can he do? He can do other stuff, yeah. But I mean, invisible, superpowers, stretching, and there was something else. But it's like he's just too powerful. It's absurd. So, but anyway, let's go to our best friend Spider-Man. So, and you know, I first looked at this way back in the stands. I kind of dropped Spider-Man for a while because it was really getting repetitious and, you know, and less than satisfactory. And this cover, I thought for sure it was a Bob Layton cover, but it's not. It's Frank Miller, inked by Jim Mooney, and pretty damn cool. So, Bewitched, Bothered, and Bedazzled. This is Keith Pollard, one of his last issues before he moved on to either Thor or he didn't know he did FF before this. But the story is it's a done in one, and I dig that. This page is spectacular. Doing a little panel, and then that last panel is just really great. So get some good stuff here. Here comes Lightmaster, a costume I totally dig. I really love that costume. He needs Dazzler to for his light powers because she creates these you know, like tons of light, like a spectacle, like it'll blind you if you're not careful, and he's trying to use her as a conduit. So there you go. This I don't get though. It's a little silly. It's like cymbals are clanging. You know, they're not made of metal. They're made of energy. And then using the flash water. Man, that's great. I love this whole panel here. The way the machine curves around, it really grabs the eye. And he's got such a sinister posture that even though you don't see his face, you just know what's going on. And her angle right there is awesome because that's a hard angle to draw. I mean, that's not even like a profile or a 3/4 turn or straight on. It's tricky. And Pollard's always been underrated. Always. Did I miss anything? Oh. So, there's some fun. She gets possessed by Light Ray, or Light Master. There's another great panel right there. And this one here is a swipe from issue 131 where Doc Ock was going to marry Aunt May. But that's okay. I mean, it's like the only swipe in the whole book. And it's a fun pose, so nobody cares. It's all right. It's all good. So, and that's pretty much it. The Black Cat, she's back. So that's it for my comics for now. Let me know what you think. I actually stopped. I didn't even pick this up because I stopped right before 200. I got to issue 200 because it was the anniversary issue, and it was pretty good about the original burglar who killed Uncle Ben. But like for years prior, it just was kind of, they were being really repetitious with their villains, and uh, it just was kind of, I didn't pick up the book again till uh, even when, not even with Denny O'Neil, because he was kind of phoning it in, to be honest. He's always been more of a DC writer. And then Roger Stern came along with John Romita Jr., and he created probably the second best era of Spider-Man after Lee Ditko. And tell me about Wondar. Have you seen this before? Do you know anything? Do you like Swamp the Man Thing? Uh, let's see. Does it make Santa Mail? Now, Syphons, have you ever read any Now comics? They had a pretty good lineup of stuff. Again. I say this all the time, and I apologize if I beat this into the ground, but all these indies, they're usually on better paper at the time, and the price is much higher. So, because at the time, other Marvel books were like either 60 cents or 75 cents. So, you know, and as Mark Evanier said once a long time ago, that hardcore comic book fans are cheap. And he's right. So, this is interesting too. It says, Ernie Chan, okay. But he's doing a good imitation of Kirby there on the monster. And, it's still fun. It's still fun. And Martian Manhunter, it's just, I don't know. But the visuals are so, they're good. I can't think of a better word. So let me know what you think, and tell me what your favorite books are out of this pile. Did you just discover Syphons now, or even Now Comics Now? And Weird World and all that. Just please add your comments below. It'd be great. And I will see you all later. Bye.